Yeah, come on. Yo, this that spooky shit, that real, that's right. That GMSONIC shit. Hey yo, Mr. Clean. Shout out to Dracula Presley, Corval, Johnny Slash on the beat. Hey yo. Yo, it's the GMSONIC show, phantom opera flow, permissionless, immutable, unstoppable, spectacular, gather with Corval and Dracula, abracadabra, flip shit like a spatula, few Andre Stan, the master of memes, DeFi king, half man, half virtual machine, no other team can match the collective expertise, no other chain can achieve the supersonic speeds, home with the most creative tech, what's your favorite decks, spooky swap, equalizer, Beethoven X. And when I place my bet, I never break a sweat. Worship the open source code like sacred text. Rest assured, battle tested and ready for war. I check the bribes, cast the vote and collect the rewards. Knock at the door, trick or treat. Move like a zombie, but usually I stay cooler than Fonzie. I get surgical with this, call me Dr. Doom. Break the sound barrier, hit you with a sonic boom. We got it wrapped like a mummy in a tomb. It's about time we address the elephant in the room. It's called Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. Yo, since the Genesis block, consensus didn't stop. Innovating since day one and never missed the plot. I'm just a humble yield farmer, tending these crops like a routine. See you at the next epoch. Ayo, the DeFi Renaissance, yeah, we were part of that. Your favorite dap, Phantom is where it started at. Go to Paint Swap and cop an ancient artifact. Let's run it back so we can 20x the market cap. FTM's the pre-sale, S is the ticker. It's best to zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. Brand new tech, brand new insignia, no trivia, we stacking more chips than Nvidia. Graduated from Halloween to a sonic theme. The dead chain resurrected, make you wanna scream. Due diligence, follow the new primitives, controlled by the citizens, built to move billions. Your mass adoption, that's the only option. We ain't stopping till we locked in the top 10. Who got the best community? Who got the most promise? Who got the most pumponomics? Phantom and now Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it.
Hey, hey.
Morning, Sonic. How you doing, Dracula?
GMSONIC. Oh, doing good, man. We were just talking before the show about how we had like a little false alarm alt run. So your boy's heavily underwater on some hastily added longs.
Oh God, dude. My prayers are with you. I know what that's like. Everyone knows that I know what that's like. I am still in the green, but I am kicking myself here because I am thinking I could have been so much more in the green, If I had just bit the bullet and lost faith in Sonic earlier, I could have really made some money. But I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound now, Dracula. So we got to run this bad boy up.
Yeah, it's time to move the charts.
What else? What else did you get into? What trapped you?
Oh, I was telling the story before the show. I don't know if I should spill my thesis that I run sometimes, but I guess I'll drop some alpha. Maybe we can all lose money together. So what I was saying before the show is, I guess what you would call OG memes, or like more like 2022, 2023 memes. I don't know, whatever. Obviously, Doge is not a 2022 meme. It's old as hell. But my thesis I was talking about was, when Bitcoin moves, I've run this pattern where when Bitcoin moves, it's almost like these old memes move like how Ethereum used to move. So Bitcoin pumps and I'll like open a long for like stuff like Doge, Pepe, Bonk. And I'm not saying you keep it open forever, but you can usually, I've had pretty good success with like, I'll open some longs on those and just let them run for like a day or two, close them out. It's not like, oh, you made, 1,000x or something, but decent little strategy that's pretty much worked. So I was telling Corval before the show, it was Sunday night about 1 a.m. I had my longs open. They were already going nuts though. They were open for like 45 minutes. And I was like, all right, I'm already up pretty good on these longs. So a reasonable person would go ahead and just take that profit, right? Like, oh, I could take profit. I could go to sleep. I could wake up feeling great, refreshed, some new money in the wallet.
Yeah.
Instead, I said, you know what? It's 1 a.m. I'll probably be up in 6 or 7 hours. I think I'm just going to leave them open. So by the time I woke up, everything was already, I was like up. I was up on all three of them bigly. And by the time I woke up, they were all like, crashed in the red. So now I am a Doge, Pepe, and Bonk community member. Happy to be there.
So the Korea dumped on you, huh?
I haven't gotten liquidated yet, but it's not looking good.
Oh, damn, dude. Well, hopefully Mrs. Presley is okay with eating kibbles and bits and canned beans and like until we get these back above water.
Yeah, I'm rationing one bologna sandwich a day right now. It's really not that bad, honestly. Bologna sandwich, cold glass of water, tap water.
At the risk of making this intro too long, I will say this: have you ever been to a restaurant and they have a bologna sandwich on the menu?
Yeah. Well, down here in the South, that's not totally unusual.
My whole life, I'd never seen that. And then I went to this place in Nashville, a hipster yuppie place. The ones that have like the string lights and it's like half outside.
Oh, did they do the thing where they were like, we make our own bologna or some shit, so it's $20?
No, they made their own specialty, their own Nashville hot chicken, which is it's nothing special. Anyway, they gave me a bologna sandwich, and I was just like, I paid $15 for a bologna sandwich, and I felt so gross. I felt so used.
Yeah, that's against the purpose. But I've seen that here in Atlanta area where it's like people will like, it's like it's a bologna sandwich, but it's locally made. And I'm like, the point of bologna is that it's trash and cheap.
Yeah, the point of bologna is it's made of pig lips, dude. I don't care about that.
Yeah, it's like hot dog on sandwich bread,
Exactly. But speaking of hot dog on sandwich bread, let's take a look at the charts here because of these things, that's what I'm going to be eating, dude.
Well, all right. We'll start with Bitcoin just because, you look at Bitcoin, you think everything's fine, right?
Chart, disgusting.
Yeah, this is the week chart where, like I said last episode, we are officially holding well above 100. I got this little meme line here. I think that's like 104, 105. We've flipped to this being like, support now. I feel good about it. Like I said, the days are kind of over of, we've basically, we've been waiting forever to have 100K plus as like actual support. So we finally got it, which I think all in all, that has to be pretty bullish. We had this like, I guess it was Sunday during the day and Sunday night, alts were starting to make some moves. For Sonic, it's still a good move. I mean, we're back above the gator.
Well, looking at it on the daily, which I wasn't looking at on the daily, I'm looking at like the 45-minute, the 30-minute chart, the hourly chart.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't recommend that.
I seem like a huge asshole now. Because it's not as bad as it looked, as I thought.
This is the point of long time frame charts, right? Is that you get rid of a lot of the noise. So like what I tend to do is I use the daily for like kind of like, all right, what is my overall, am I bullish or bearish or whatever? And then when I'm like trying to get a position, then I drill down to something like the 4 hour, the 1 hour, or whatever. But I mean, I think it's important, especially to not psych yourself out, that you should at least peak at like maybe the daily or the weekly or whatever before you like get in like a new position, or before you like sell your entire bag or whatever. Because if you look at Sonic on the daily, it looks like a pretty healthy. We had a leg up, we stabilized, we're coming back down a little bit, but we're still over moving averages. We're still, we're still in the right, I guess, going in the right direction is what I'm saying, all in all. But everything right now, as you can see on my tokens I track or whatever over here, everything's in the red. Everything's having a retrace or whatever. So don't get too down about it. We are still, the airdrop still hasn't even happened yet.
So we're gonna have to suffer even more.
Well,
or maybe this is getting priced in, dude.
Yeah. Like we're always going, it's priced in, bro. If it's priced in, hey, maybe we're sitting pretty, So yeah,
well, all those actors have the biggest airdrops, so it probably is priced in. Like, who cares if 10,000? I'm trying to. What is the least offensive thing I get? 10,000 people that have a $50 airdrop to sell. Who cares?
Yeah, they can't. Now,
if Dracula dumps his airdrop, we're screwed, guys.
Yeah. Speaking of my longs, it looks like Bonk is up, so maybe Bonk will save my underwater positions. I don't know.
Might be a good summer after all.
Yeah, could be. So yeah, there was that going on. There was also, some of the good old macro stuff going on. We had a lot of the pump was based on some good numbers and metrics, and that everything was swirling around that, all right, the rate cuts are coming, Well, at the same time as this, or rather over the weekend, there was like some bad kind of inflation news, and then there was like some tariff stuff back on the table. So I think that's mostly why we're seeing like a little market correction right now. Everybody was ready to go full throttle, and then it was like, oh no, there's still, tariffs for this. And I think the inflation numbers were like just barely, just a hair above what they were predicting. So it was enough to have everyone pull back.
Yeah, I might have missed the inflation news. I was feeling a little ill, but I did see a lot of conversation around Powell, but I want to go into that a little bit later. What's next for us? We want to talk about something else regarding specifically charts, right? Lots of new tokens being launched soon because of something coming up.
Oh, that's right. Fatfinger.fun. Wow. The new meme launcher came out about it hit live about an hour ago, and looks like there's already a ton of tokens deployed.
Wow, and everything is green. What is going on here?
Yeah, tons of tokens deployed. Already got some bonders here. Got some guys on the way to bonding. So yeah, fatfinger.fun is a new meme launcher, and yeah, it is live now. They had, on Friday we were talking about they put out testnet for everyone to play with over the weekend, but mainnet is live and it's going.
Hell yeah. So fatfinger.fun, meme coin launchpad. Give it a try, guys. I'm going to give it a try after the show here. I think I'm going to make some more prediction markets today, and I think I'm going to make some meme coin launches. I'm going to do it under not my wallet, though. I don't want people to know it's me.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we got shameless shill.
Wait, is this yours, Dracula?
No, I helped out on it a little bit, but it's the core team are some really crack devs and then some community guys. So it's like a handful of people that have helped out with it. But yeah, I've helped out with it a little bit, but mostly just like the guys that have ran with this, they've worked really hard on it, and I've gotten to kind of watch everything as it's being developed, and yeah, I mean, I just think it's pretty nice little product. So it's been a while since Sonic's had some new dApps, some new things to play with. And that segues pretty well into our guest today, I would say. I think we lost your audio.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, it truly does. I was going to say more of the shameless shill. Let's do some
shameless shilling.
Well, it's already a shameless shill.
Shame. I don't know.
Anyway, let's shill Main Street Finance. How you guys doing? Aaron, Main Street.
GM.
Nice to see you guys. Patient. And how you guys doing all right? You guys survived in the green room?
Doing well. Excited to be on the show.
Right on. Well, let's get into it. Dude, what is Main Street? Either one of you.
So yeah, from a top level, Main Street is a platform that decentralizes access to Wall Street quality yields. So we have two quants in-house, and we have a synthetic dollar similar to the build that Athena does with the two token system. And we decentralize access. Mainly our initial strategy is through the volatility arb strategy. So it's a pretty complex strategy, but it produces a high yield. And we're confident in it growing as the crypto economy grows.
Awesome. Could you kind of clarify what you mean by Wall Street quality yield? Or is that the word you used?
Yeah, exactly. So these yield strategies are fairly advanced, and that's why, for example, we have our quants here, and Jaren is our lead quant. And that's part of our mission, is to really decentralize the access, because I think right now a lot of these yield strategies are kind of high barrier to entry. You need a whole team of quants to be able to accomplish that. And we thought that bringing those types of yields and decentralizing it, similar in the way that Athena decentralizes access to the basis trade, is a really good product to bring to crypto and kind of have a value add to the whole crypto ecosystem.
Awesome.
And
okay.
What kind of I know you mentioned the basis trade. So what kind of strategies are you guys typically engaging in?
Yeah, so what we do right now is a delta neutral strategy on the volatility arb. So Jaren can kind of get into the weeds on exactly how that's executed.
Sure. Yeah. So, starting with options for those less familiar, you have financial contracts that give you the right, but not the obligation to buy or sell an asset like Bitcoin at a specified price at a certain date. So you have calls for betting on the upside and puts on the downside. So we think that the upside there is absolutely enormous. And if you look at in TradFi, the S&P futures have about 600 billion open interest, but then you go to options, it's like 5 times bigger, like closer to 3 trillion. And this is because they offer a far more flexible, more nuanced way to manage risk and speculate. So If you buy a call and short a put, that's exactly the same as a futures contract, but you could also buy the call and the put. And then you can have, that's called a straddle. You make money in the market if it goes up or down a lot, and you might not know or care which direction, but you think it's going to move a lot. Volatility arbitrage is all about trading the difference between implied volatility, which is what's built into the current price of the options, and the realized volatility, which is if you look into the future, what the market actually does. So in simple terms, if options are priced with more volatility that ends up occurring, you can profit by selling that overpriced volatility. And then our strategy mainly revolves around trading straddles in a systematic way, often shorting them to capture that premium while using some of the modeling to decide when and how. We're not just blindly shorting straddles without any edge, though. We look at the broader volatility surface. We try to time execution based on opportunity. It's fully algorithmic, driven by data and models. It's not a gut feel trading system.
Whoa. So you guys are trading completely the opposite of how I do here. You're using mathematics and equations to make the most here. I mean, there's also really high level stuff here. So I'm familiar with a straddle strategy, right? I feel like we've talked about this. I mean, not on this show, but I had another show. We talked about when Premium launched their options, the various ways you could play with options. But you're saying like you're trading the volatility difference between different assets. So like, I don't know.
It's all Bitcoin right now. It's all Bitcoin. That's where the vast majority of liquidity is on Deribit. And that's the most scalable market right now. I'd love to get into other assets too, and more diversity will definitely help with returns. But the market needs to mature quite a bit. Maybe one day it'll be like TradFi, and options will be 5 times bigger than futures. But right now it's like 90 billion of open interest in perps on Binance. Compare that to only like 37 billion of options open interest on Deribit. Maybe that's why Coinbase bought them. They think it's going to explode. And so
yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense that as the market matures, options are going to be more popular on chain, especially. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting idea for sure. So in a way, it's kind of like, I guess, so like walk me through the process. So is it more of like when people are minting the stable token, the USDC is being used for these strategies and you're bringing the yield back home, basically?
Yeah, the USDC is, you mint with USDC. We'll bring that into Deribit, and then that becomes the collateral that we then use to finance these. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, 21% APY right now. It's
bad, dude. And you're saying by getting better with more assets? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, more assets I would think would make it a little bit more stable, but also as the market matures, it'll probably become bumpier too. So maybe that'll help balance it out a little bit. Historical returns are never a promise of future returns, but we do backtesting and stuff, and we're constantly tweaking and fine tuning all that stuff. There are also structural properties that don't totally vanish. So it's like, one of the things is just a property of the markets, and even in the very efficient TradFi markets, is that the volatility curve of further dated options is higher than near dated, and so it's kind of like if you buy like a longer dated bond, you get a higher rate of return. Generally, you have to take some rates risk in order to do that, but that's part of how banks make money. They take from short-term deposits and they lend longer term, and then they pocket the difference. So
yeah. So like, what would be like in your opinion, like what would be the risks on kind of doing like a straddle or delta neutral kind of strategy?
So it is more complicated than something like Athena, for sure. And we're not trying to replace them by any means. If you want Athena level risk, you can take Athena level returns too. It's not a free lunch. And we do have gamma that cannot be perfectly hedged. So it's you might be totally delta neutral now. If the market starts to move a lot, you have to be dynamically delta hedging, and we have systems for that. It's 24/7, 365. I'm pretty obsessed and focused with tail risks in general and black swans that might hit us really in unexpected ways. You try to be a good student of recent history in the financial markets. You look at other disasters. You look at, like, during the COVID panic, there are some funds that blew up that did volatility arbitrage. Why did they blow up? I'm thinking like Par Plus and Ronin. They had very short vol positions, and these positions might have done well. It's just they have these circuit breakers in TradFi. If the market moves too fast, too far, the whole market shuts down, and you just can't do anything. You can't trade. You have to wait for the next day. If it goes limit down again, you're stuck again. And these funds ended up having to watch their whole companies go to hell because of that. So we don't have that exact same problem in crypto. Obviously, it's 24/7, 365. But another thing you got to look at is leverage. It's like during Volmageddon in 2018, Par Plus had a 50% return, and it's like, okay, we can. Is that too much? For me personally, I don't care how good the opportunity is. I'm not going to load the boat to such an extent that you jeopardize I'd much rather have a slow grind that's boring but sustainable long term. It's a little bit better than the risk-free rates. There's stuff like that. Some of that, like Volmageddon, for example, was exacerbated by these vol futures. That there were some big ETFs that had to exit a position because they were rolling, and that got caught off guard. Vol futures are really hard to hedge perfectly with an underlying. So these do exist in crypto. We're staying well away from that. And Bitcoin, obviously being a multi-trillion-dollar market cap, you can hedge it directly, and so we think that should be much more efficient. But can these things hit you in unexpected ways? Yeah. So I'll keep obsessing about that and keep trying to think about stuff. And if anybody has any ideas, let me know. But that's one of the things that I like to obsess about as a risk person. So.
That's awesome, dude. Jaron, you're so knowledgeable about this. What is your background? Were you doing quant stuff in traditional finance before, or?
Yeah, I've had a pretty diverse career in TradFi. I've done trading. I've done quant research. I spent a little bit of time doing exotics pricers at one point. I did risk management. I was in charge of risk analytics for a while at Silver Point Capital. That's a pretty big credit fund. I've even done some IT development. I'm really an engineer at heart. I feel like ideas are cheap. It's can you get them done? But I broke into crypto probably about 4 years ago, I think. I joined a hedge fund that was specializing in different kinds of yield harvesting, which was getting really popular at the time, mostly basis trading and LP positions with dynamic hedging. I got into blockchain liquidations. I got pretty big on Terra Luna at one point. Fully hedged, of course. We all knew what was eventually happened there. But that ended up doing incredibly well during the blow up. But after that, those bots didn't work anymore. So I then just continued to focus on risk neutral strategies. I helped out with various family offices and started working on Main Street earlier this year. And I was trying to do similar things, but a lot of these LPs and strategies started to really tighten. And maybe this is fine for a more established fund, but if you're trying to build excitement and launch a new product, you really need something a little bit more exciting. So that kind of forced me into other strategies and got me into researching options. And that's where that came from.
Well, it's nice to, your plan is like well done. It's obviously well thought out. You know, I like the idea of, yes, you know, you have to take on a little more risk, but obviously people love to get good yield on stables. So I guess like in the case of like big money, if they wanted to come in, do you guys have like how do you guys like verify the holdings if you're like working on, you know, Deribit?
Yeah, so I can jump in on that. So one of our main things, if you want to go back to the website too, on the transparency tab, we actually have proof of reserve. So what Deribit offers us is these different keys where we can access our collateral. And what we've done is we've kind of open sourced those keys and allowed anyone to verify our collateral at any time. So I think in this industry, it's super important to have a lot of transparency, especially with what's backing a stablecoin. Um, and you know that's what incentivized us to build the system so that anyone that's participating in Main Street can come, they can do their own proof, they can also check what the collateral is right on the website at any time, and that's a big thing with building trust within the community. And in a lot of DeFi, people, you know, they won't represent their backing, but we thought it was really important to do that. And especially as we scale and more institutional capital flows in, these are the types of things that they're going to want to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, that's great. Especially, that's what I had in mind with it was, you know, but being able to offer 21%, that's like very exciting if you're, you know, a large stable holder. But yeah, they're going to definitely like want those assurances and everything. So yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, it seems like a really professional operation, dude. I'm thinking about getting in because I like the look of this, dude. It's a lot of APRs, dude. APYs. But let's see here.
Well, I guess my other question would be, would just be like, do you guys, obviously being on Sonic, you know, are you planning, you know, I guess obviously there would be like lots of things people could build on top of this, like integrations and stuff. Are you guys like working on any like DeFi integrations with any of the protocols or like, you know, any products being built on top or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think the base yield for MSUSD or for staked MSUSD is actually a big value add for the Sonic ecosystem and especially integrating with these existing DeFi protocols. So the ones that we're currently on right now, we have an LP pool on Shadow that's providing yield also on SwapX. And then we also are going to be launching on Silo shortly. And we have some other DeFi integrations that are going to be coming in the next couple of weeks and some really exciting. We're going to have our own points program. A lot of platforms do that. We're excited about that and rewarding people for participating across these different DeFi apps on Sonic. I think it's a big value add, especially as we grow in TVL. We expect ourselves to be like a big player and driving up the TVL of the chain, and excited to be able to do that on Sonic with everybody.
Hell yeah. I'm excited, dude. Another powerful stablecoin opportunity here. Anything else you guys want to talk about coming up for you guys? Anything about the points program maybe get people excited?
Yeah, so just a little bit more on the points program. The points are going to be called gammas, and yeah, there's going to be multipliers for participating across different crypto apps. So the different DeFi apps that are going to be on, like Silo, there's some other ones that are yet to be announced, but we'll make sure to announce those once they're out. There's going to be different multipliers and exciting ways to earn yield, not only from our APY, but also from the DeFi apps and their own point systems as well. So you know, there's a lot of ways to earn additional yield, not just the 20%. So, you know, that's kind of the benefit of DeFi is you can earn in a lot of different ways, even in the native token. And I like to make the example, especially with a protocol that can scale and a trade that can scale, because this trade can scale pretty heavily. That getting in early on these types of platforms and getting into the points program, you saw, you know, people that were staking USDE for the points and the native token, just how like advantageous that was for them and how the APY was actually like close to like 100% based on the token launch. So we see, we're like kind of building it in that same way to where we can accommodate a large TVL and really establish ourselves as a large player of decentralizing this like really safe and secure yield, and giving people access to these types of strategies that on their own they wouldn't be able to execute.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, that's exciting stuff. We're definitely going to keep an eye on it. And yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Like, really appreciate it. Definitely hop back on here when you guys got some new stuff in the works. And yeah, just thanks for coming on here and explaining everything. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Main Street Finance yet, you should definitely check it out, because that's impressive APY for putting your stables in.
Yeah, dude.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on, guys. Mainstreet.finance. Check it out. I might move my stuff off a hype onto here, dude. My USDC from those vaults.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
But next up, we're going to talk a little bit more about like just general Sonic stuff. If you guys want to stick around, or if you guys got a jet, just I'm just going to play a stage for now here. Let me know in the private chat if you want to come back for what we're about to talk about. Because I don't want what I'm about to say next to blow back on Main Street Finance at all.
What could this be?
I don't want to jeopardize their reputation. I don't want to jeopardize anything. I want to talk about. Well, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about this guy a little bit. Well, do I want to talk? Is this even interesting? I'm ruining the show because I'm fucking up the momentum here. But I'm just looking through my notes here.
Okay. That's what I was gonna pull up, because I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
This is controversial here, but
yeah.
Let's do the airdrop, dude. Okay, so this is the alpha leak for the airdrop, courtesy of Payne Toshi. This is where you land after claiming the FNFT. Blah 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 blah. Okay, Drac, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is like super clean. This is, I guess, where you're gonna get your FNFT, then you're gonna have access to all your info here. Basically, it's all the stuff that you'd plan on seeing, considering that everything has like a 9-month linear kind of unlock deal. So yeah, it's going to show you like what your total amount of S is, how long it takes to get that S. It's like going to, they got some tips down here, how to maximize your airdrop claim. And then also right here, you have like the option to like go ahead and like unlock to get your remaining S, sell your NFT, or transfer. And that's where like, PaintSwap has worked on this marketplace where it's going to be like a club order book, which I think is going to be really awesome. So yeah, nice little setup here. I know they've worked on this for a long time. Like this is pretty sleek.
Yeah. I'm thinking about how I want to connect this to Pump Fun with the club. We'll come back to this. I want to talk about this. Maximize your airdrop claim. I like this display here. And I also really like how PaintSwap has put this little thing in here, because they, this is good marketing, dude. They're like, hey, you got your S. Here's what you should do with it. You should just loop it, dude, and just buy more FFTs off our club, dude.
That's a good little strat. It's like, hey, take the everybody's going to be 25% liquid right when this thing drops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying, take your S, mint some STS, take that STS, put it on Silo, borrow some S from it, go ahead and buy some more NFTs.
Yeah. So like, in a way, this could create more buy pressure, dude, for S, dude. Because wait a minute, actually, now I'm bullish again. Wait, because it's going to be all buy pressure. Because why would I even bother selling my 5S when I could just loop it right here?
Yeah, you could loop it. You could
I could sell yourself NFT for USDC, and then that's like not even impacting liquid S price, spot price.
No, I mean, there's a lot to I know, like,
wait, the assistant might actually be a genius, dude.
Well, historically, obviously, airdrop day is a day that's, has excitement, but also dread, right? Because everybody's getting their money, but then it becomes who can sell the fastest and, all that stuff. like speaking of assistant, I remember like on one of his posts, like, you know, there was this guy that was like, it's very disrespectful to not tell me what time I'm going to get my tokens. It was like, yeah, so you can like sell before everybody. Like, what the hell, man?
Very disrespectful.
But yeah, like, yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot more mechanics here than like a normal airdrop, you know? And people got to take into account that only 25% of the drop is liquid on day one. And, you know, that's what they're trying to do here is, you know, they want people to keep the money in the ecosystem. Even better, you know, hey, like if you're go spend your S on some ecosystem stuff, but if you don't want to do that, like why don't you use it to get more S for cheap, right? Because we're not going to really know what the discount's looking like until the market goes live. But I would say, I would speculate 15-20% discount should be like, that'll probably be pretty easy to get to pretty rapidly. So you're looking at, you know, being able to get like a massive discount on S if, you know, if you're thinking, hey, like, you know, this time in like less than a year, like where is S going to be? Where is Sonic going to be? Right.
I know a couple of guys are going to be snapping them all up, dude. They're going to be snapping up all these FNFTs because they say Sonic is going to $15 next year. And that's kind of bullish to me. Whether or not it hits $15 is not, I don't, but if they're going to be snapping them up, that is bullish. And I want to address something that happened in our comments here now. I shouldn't do this because it's just going to add fuel to the fire, but who is this guy?
I do not know. There was, yeah, every now and then you get somebody asking, can I just like come on the stream? And I have no clue who that is.
And I like this guy. Thank you for joining us. But I don't like his name. I'm not allowed to say that just because of where I'm from. And then Fallout Zone wants to know how the protocols are utilizing the FNFTs. I remember hearing Shadow and other things are coming out with things. I don't know if it's named yet, but there is like a is it like eggs or whatever where you can just like borrow against your FNFT and loop it?
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 things I've heard of in the pipeline. Obviously, nobody's like launched yet since we're waiting, but there's like some interesting stuff. Yeah, I've seen lending, you know, borrowing ideas. There's a protocol that's working on. It's kind of like a liquid. It's almost like a liquid staking token in a sense, because like you will get fully liquid from your NFT, but you have to basically, you know, give them your NFT. And they give you like their like liquid token that represents S. And then, yeah, I know Shadow, I think, is also working on, there's, you know, other things people are working on where it's like you can somewhat get liquid or borrow against it. Yeah, I'm hoping we see a lot of stuff though, honestly, because that would obviously make it even more interesting, give more opportunity. So yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot of stuff, but I've heard of like 2 or 3 things just kind of like through the grapevine, but
yeah, I can't wait till there's a poker game on the Sonic network where I could, you know, put up my FNFT as like a bet. You know? Now, somehow Martin Shkreli is beating us here, dude. We got to get our numbers up, guys. Be sure to like and retweet this. We're getting beat by Martin Shkreli's. What is this? 715.25 minus 2. Oh, he's live trading his portfolio. Son of a bitch. Live Season 2 loyalty multiplier. You can now check your airdrop loyalty multiplier on MySonic. Now, do you guys know about the loyalty multiplier? I know basically the idea here is that you just get your points multiplied the longer you're in a specific protocol, so you're not just like jumping. Is that the idea?
Yeah, you know, it's basically, as we've said before, Season 1 was about bringing in TVL and liquidity. Season 2 is all about using the dApps, you know, using the protocols on the chain. So yeah, it's the loyalty multiplier is based on, you know, positions and protocols, you know, holdings of tokens still from Season 1. I don't know if they have the actual formula here, but basically, the multiplier, you know, goes from anywhere from like 1 to, 2.3 or whatever. So yeah, I mean, most people I've seen have had it like the full multiplier. But yeah, it's I'm looking here through the thing right now. I had something that showed exactly.
You can see where what their focus is here now, which is just less points overall. It seems like the weight category. Oh, they're just like removing all the weights from like bridges and like Gamble 5, basically.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the thing here. It says to encourage consistency and prevent farming drop-off cycles, we're introducing a loyalty multiplier. Your season 1 performance sets your initial multiplier. Then your ongoing activity in season 2 can increase or decrease that value. It will actually go up to a maximum of 3x. So I'm guessing people, showing the most people having this like 2.3 or whatever, it's probably because the season hasn't gone deep enough yet. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at a total of a 3x multiplier on your points.
Hell yeah. So I'd expect multiplier divide points. Sword Blatt. Are you excited about this point season? It's too complicated for me, dude. I don't want to even think about this.
I guess it just depends. Like,
we gotta get Jared back on here to explain this quant shit to me. What is this?
I'm not a points maxer. I just have my assets. Every now and then, if there's something that makes sense, I might hold like SCUSD or SCF or whatever. But really, for me, it's more like I do most of my DeFi on Sonic anyway. So I don't know. I don't know if it's worth. You know how this goes on every airdrop. There's people that they're obsessed with just like, how can I manipulate the system to get the most points and the blah, blah, blah. With this stuff, it's like, I just don't even really recommend that. I don't know if it's worth the pain, right? Like, it's like, come to Sonic, do some tasks, farm some stuff. You're going to love it here anyway, because the thing about Sonic, I've said this before, being a person that's always hunted yield and been multi-chain user and all over the place, like most of my funds are actually on Sonic for a reason. And that's because it really is some of the best yields in DeFi. So it's like, what else do you have to lose? Like, make better yields than you can make pretty much anywhere and, get some extra S from it. But yeah, I understand why they release all this information, because you do have those people that get really into, I'm points maxing, but I just think, it'd be one thing if the yields weren't good on the chain, right? Because I've seen other drops that have done this before. Blast was a good example where, the actual yields weren't that great, but they're like, but with your points, you're, making all these points, right? And it's like, I don't think I would play it like that, right? Like, it's just like, don't focus on the points as much. Just, find some good yield positions, farm them, leave them in there, whatever. Play around with some eco tokens. But I think that's the best advice I could give, really. It's just like, I wouldn't get like too obsessed with it. Like, just, know.
I mean, me personally, I feel like it might just not even be worth my time, because like you're saying, if I use all the DeFi products anyway, like, is it really gonna be worth it for me to like try to like max out the points? It feels like credit card point system at this point almost, where it's like, there was like a little while where like people were like, they would have like 20 credit cards and like they'd have like all the points because they were like just printing money, just like exploiting the point systems.
Yeah.
This seems like Sonic is now like, it's just so like, no, I don't think it's going to make anyone rich, basically. Like, I don't think you're going to, this is an airdrop you can farm that's like, hyper liquid or something. It's just like a nice little bonus.
Yeah, I think it's more of like, I think that's a good way to put it, right? Is that hopefully the point system and the extra bonus, it brings in new people to at least check everything out. And then it's like, once you come here, you're like, well, shit, this actually is the best yield on stables I can find. This actually is the best yield on, Ethereum I can find, there, there are a couple of things we're missing. We've talked about how like we really need like a really strong perp dex. If we had a really insanely strong perp dex, I wouldn't be talking about, having to lose all my money on Hyperliquid this morning. But yeah, because like I said, just as a DeFi farmer, a yield hunter, like this is where most of my funds are.
Exactly. And for good reason. Now, we got some more news too, dude. I want to get us through the rest of this here because we're getting kind of short on time. Oh, wait, let me go with this first, actually. I found this. This is what the assistant's smoking on, dude. I swear to God. He called me at like 10 p.m. last night, and the one, he's lucky that I answered. But when I answered it, I just heard like crackling. Like in Chernobyl? It was like crazy, dude. So I'm pretty sure this is what he's on, the Labubu radioactive pack.
Yeah. The boo-boo.
The boo-boo.
It's the boo-boo.
Zabubu, yeah, Zabubu. Lazuzu. But now we got another. Do you want to do a little watch along with this? It's 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it because she does a good. Account abstractions coming to Sonic, and this is like a nice little video explaining it. So this is like when you're in class and you have a half day. We're just gonna play the video. You guys watch it. I'm gonna drink my coffee. Go for it.
Yeah. And you're lucky. This video starts the beautiful Mew Mew chin, and it's not gonna have Bill Nye.
Blockchain wallets are overdue for a serious upgrade. Right now, simple tasks like swapping tokens require multiple steps. You can't share a gas fee, and if you lose your private key, you're at loss. Account abstraction on Sonic changes everything. Arriving soon via EIP 7702. It turns your regular wallet into a smart account, which means it becomes programmable, flexible, and secure. For users, you can batch multiple actions into one transaction. Let apps cover your gas fee or pay your gas fee in any token, and even recover your wallet using trusted contacts instead of relying on just one private key. For developers, it means frictionless onboarding by sponsoring your user's gas fee, requesting additional fees from users with dynamic fee, and even enabling social login for your users, such as login with email. This is all enabled by the EIP 7702 upgrade, which lets your account temporarily delegate to contracts. For example, instead of approving tokens then swapping, you delegate to a contract and let that handle both in one transaction. But with these powers come real risk. Delegating control to a smart contract can expose your account, especially if that contract is malicious or outdated. Batch transaction can also hide harmful operations. So here are our security practices to be aware before account abstraction goes live on Sonic.
Pay
First,
attention.
only delegate to contracts you fully trust. Second, review and revoke unused permissions regularly. Third, use a separate account for your long-term savings. And finally, never sign what you don't understand. Account abstraction is coming, and now you know how to navigate these new upgrades. You can learn more by reading our beginner's guide on our blog. See you next time.
Wow, thank you, Michu. Now,
listen, you better have watched this because this is going to be on the test on Friday.
This is going to be on the test on Friday, and if you think we're
joking, if you were just screwing around when that video was playing, good luck.
Yeah, if you clicked off of our stream, well, let's just say you're not going to be getting a passing grade this semester. I'm actually going to I'm writing this down. I got to make a quiz. No, I'm stoked about account abstraction. We've been talking about this for a while. Well, I don't know if we've been talking about this. I guess in the general sense, we've been talking about this, and that it's been a subject of discussion in crypto for 2 years now, ever since that Vitalik blog. There are already a lot of I'm like really curious about the security risk because it does seem like extremely risky. Because it's almost like what is the difference between this and just having like a login for like my bank account or whatever, you know what I mean, or like my Fortnite account, you know?
Your V-Bucks.
Yeah, like someone could just get my V-Bucks. But in terms of like user adoption, I think it'll be huge. Are there any chains that actually use account abstraction already?
To my knowledge, there's not anyone that has it like on this like chain level. Obviously, there's tons of products out there that have account abstraction built in. And yeah, I agree. There's things, you know, maybe it's just the crypto boomer.
Org. Holy shit, with a deep cut Starknet.
Starknet. Whoa. Wow.
Dude.
Speaking
I used to
of
do a little work with Starknet.
Yeah, speaking of amazing airdrops, Starknet.
They were very unfortunate with their launch. It was a very unfortunate launch.
I kind of feel bad for them almost. It was kind of like bad timing more than how hyped people were for Starknet going into like the bear market?
Yeah. And then
okay, so Starknet had some account abstraction. But yeah, I mean, like from what I've seen, it's usually, you know, on the protocol level. I think it's the logical evolution, right? As we're onboarding more normal users and the tech is getting easier for normal people to use, it just makes sense that you would have things like, you know, account abstraction that lets you log in with your X account or, you know, whatever. So inherently that does have some risk. But I think it's bound to happen, right? I mean, but yeah, I mean that it does feel like, okay, you add this like thing on the surface level where it's like, well, if somebody hacks my X, they could like log into my, you know, my wallet if they knew even that was a thing, right? So there are some risks to it, but on the flip side, you know, it's more like your wallet is a smart contract, you know, so there's just like so many things you can do. You know, if you've ever used like Safe for like a multi-sig or Safe wallet or whatever, you know, it's kind of like, imagine that, you know, where it's like you can stack all your TXs, approve them all at the same time. You know, basically like anything that can get done with a contract, you could do, you know, account abstraction, you know? So I think that will also create some interesting like products and things people can build on top.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge upgrade. I'm really excited to see what people start building with it too. Keep your eyes open, guys. I guess we are behind Starknet, but you know, more activity. Yeah, stick with how we've been doing it. Fair enough. Sorry, excuse me. Next up, this is what's on our docket. This is what our handlers prepared for us here. The last topic here is to meet Dr. Bernard Schultz. I already met him, so we're skipping this one, dude.
Yeah, you guys took shots of Jaeger in Vienna, right?
Yeah, we took shots of Jaeger. He was explaining to me about Australia. So instead, we're going to talk about this for a little bit. Have you ever played Uno with your rent on the line directly?
Yeah, I've been there, man.
You've been skipped 3 times in Uno when it was your rent on the line, dude.
Dude, that's brutal.
It's because Uno is being added to as a table game to casinos in Las Vegas, dude.
I saw that, man. I was just in Vegas. I would have loved that.
Dude, Uno, the most bullshit, frustrating game of all time. Uno is like Monopoly in that it's like one of those family games that's designed just to like make you hate your family.
Yeah. I could see the logic though, right? Because if you've ever been to Vegas or really any casino, you know, you got your guys playing cards, roulette, craps, you know, all that stuff. But then you look in the slot machines, right? You look at the slot machines and that's where everybody like, you know, 60 and up is parked just at the slots, right? So I think it makes sense. It's like, all right, we're going to like rope in these people that prefer stuff like slots, you know, a little less excitement, less impact, you know, their money can like last a little longer than like playing blackjack or, you know, poker or I don't know, whatever. I think it's funny though. I don't know if this thread has it, but there was a picture of what the table looked like, and I was like, holy shit.
No, you'd never see me again.
The table, you would have thought it was like the World Series of poker or something. It was like all like bedazzled and like pimped out, and like Uno all like scrawled across all the stuff. You know what I mean?
Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, I think also, look, I'm trying to be inflammatory here, but there's a community note on this where it's not a traditional casino game. It's a temporary setup. So we got to put Uno gambling on the blockchain. Oh wait, here we go. This is the table.
There it is. Yeah, look at this thing.
It's beautiful.
Oh, the Palms Casino. Yeah.
How you get to sit and play at this thing, then. But yeah, that was a good one. Then we've got. Do you have the chart still pulled up?
What, on Pump?
Yeah, Pump.
I do. Well, we were having some discussion about Pump earlier. It finally launched yesterday. Mm-hmm. I was saying I don't think this is a bad looking chart considering, right?
Mine doesn't look like that at all. Well, I guess I'd have to have different settings. My bar is like filled.
Well, I guess let's see. If you do the daily, that's not as sexy, right? I don't know. The hourly. Maybe I'm looking. Maybe it's because I'm looking at like a different pool or whatever. But
no, mine looked all messed up because like the wicks were filled for some reason. I just was setting on my chart. I was just like, oh my god, like it dropped like 50% in like a minute.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that we were talking about this before the show with the Main Street guys too, just about thoughts on I don't know, Pump as a product, Pump, like, how it went at the launch. I was saying, to me, it looks like the launch was it went well. Everyone that bought pre-sale had a discount. Mm-hmm. The token's above what the pre-sale was right now. I don't know. They still have been tight-lipped about airdrop stuff, which was smart, I think, because you don't want to scare off those people that just invested and just bought. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. What we were talking about was how, I don't use the Pump launcher very often. I always got chopped up on it. You have these guys that were like pros at like playing on Pump, right? And I have a lot of respect for that because I don't know. I just never really had a hit on there. I'd always just get immediately sent to the fucking shadow zone. But yeah, I mean, I think that they're leaning into the live streaming. They got a bunch of other stuff in the works. I think that if you're trying to be like an everything app that's like social, it's up there in terms of, I think that X it's always blown my mind. And, shout out to X while we're streaming on their platform. But, X kind of has blown my mind that they basically fumbled podcasts and live streaming. There's absolutely no reason on earth that X should not be the largest podcast platform and the largest streaming platform.
I think the biggest fumble they did was, Drac, is I just want to support your point. But if you remember, they bought Vine at the peak of Vine's popularity. And then this isn't even on Elon. This is on Jack, I guess. But then did nothing with it. So they could have front ran TikTok by like 4 years.
I mean, God, that's even crazy to think about that too, that I've never really considered that, yeah, I mean, they've basically fumbled podcasts, live streaming, and yeah, like short form TikTok, and I don't really know why. It's like they just, they half-ass.
It's cursed. It's a cursed
they just half-ass their other products, and I understand that the actual posting part of X is the most important part of the product, I guess. But they've just always like so half-assed on everything else, and I do think that like, something like Pump has like a better shot of becoming a major live stream platform than X does. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I agree with you. And this is why I was pushing. I wasn't even joking when I posted this, where I was like, I want DMT TV. I would love for like Senko TV to come to Sonic And maybe it's just because I stream, but I think like it's a huge missed opportunity because like streaming and like the tipping system with tokens, it just makes perfect sense. It's like the perfect synergy to have this ecosystem. And if we have the speed of Sonic, like the streaming should be pretty nice, right? Like the responsiveness of the donations and all that. And it just seems like a no-brainer to me. I guess the content moderation is the biggest headache for any kind of thing like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Like, like for instance, on Senko, you have issues with there's a lot of like IP stuff, people will just like
anime.
People will just like stream movies, anime, sports events you're supposed to be paying for. But
God, on Senko TV, I can watch UFC live.
Yeah, no, I mean I love Senko TV. But yeah, I mean, and obviously on Pump when they launched streaming unmoderated, pretty much instantly had them investigated by the US government. There was people hurting people, somebody, off themselves. I mean, it's like a lot of it's like you said, I think that's the biggest headache is like, do you moderate and how do you moderate when you're operating in like the Web3, like kind of Wild West,
And well, I guess if we want to connect this back to Pump, they're more than well capitalized enough to do this now, right? Like, like they can very easily build a very robust moderation team now, because these numbers are crazy. Market cap 1 billion, 1.17 billion. That's just and then I'm glad they thickened the liquidity. If I remember at the start, liquidity was like 2 million or something.
Yeah, they did the move everybody loves to see where it's like you just raised another $750 million and you put like 10 million in the liquidity pool.
Yeah. Alon is kind of a funny guy, dude. Like I saw this message from him where he was talking about like he's just gonna make the community pay for it, like listings and shit. And the people were like, "But you just raised like $2 billion." He's like, "Yeah, so make the community pay for it." So cheap guy. I'm sure it's gonna be successful. Now I have this here, which is like kind of like the discussion around this topic a little bit. A lot of people like pissed off. Artem says here, he's got like much more of like a typical cypherpunk is what I would call it. Like crypto is like for decentralization, anonymity, and freedom and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he says pump fundraising 500 mil in 12 minutes sets a new bar of idiotism and mental deficiency in crypto. Well, Artem, I have to challenge him here because only an idiot would say idiotism. It'd be idiocy, right? It's the proper word anyway. It might not be his first language. Instead of supporting projects that push the tech frontier by researching the fundamentals of privacy, decentralization, and scalability, we are putting the funds in a shithole of rug pulls and scams. So, like, the thing is, we haven't done that in a long ass time, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's Ethereum essentially ushered in. I mean, you can't change it. Ethereum opened the box for this. It was always gonna happen. It was always going to be the case. And I do get tired. I mean, I feel like a lot of these people are just like obsessed with the algorithm because people that just write shit like this, it's just like the money's coming from somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's not coming from nowhere. It's not coming from 5 people. It's not coming from, 10,000 people. It's coming from millions and millions of people. So if you want to talk about DeFi and crypto and capitalism, there's your answer. Mm-hmm. It's doing something that people want. It's doing something that resonates with people. I see this all the time, though. It's mostly, even on like the Sonic micro level, it's like, oh, I'm a missor, so
it's just code.
So now I'm writing FUD, because I missed this or I missed that, or my bags aren't performing as well as someone else's bags. So now it's FUD and cope, right? Because like I said at the top of the show, I never did well on the platform. I barely used it because I just always got immediately destroyed on it. But I think you have to respect what it's done, what it is doing. Everybody can talk about all the money raised all they want, but it's not going anywhere. Obviously something's going to happen with it. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that's my view on it though. Is like, it's just, everybody just talks about, oh, they did this, they did that, they raised this, they raised that. And it's like, yeah. And the Solana part of it, sure. I would tell you that seemed extractive, that it's like, they had all this Solana, the market sold every single day. But like I said, as far as the product goes, I don't know, this one guy, it's like, you're not the smartest guy in the room, because millions of people are using this thing.
I bring this up just more for like the I guess not for this guy specifically, but this idea in general. I've said it again and again. There's this battle in crypto between like the people. Now, this is cope. I feel like this is largely cope, but theoretically, there's this philosophical battle in crypto between like the decentralization, privacy, like libertarian type thing. Like, I want to own my money. I don't want to trust the banks or whatever, versus money, like finance, like what is easy and what is useful, right? And it reminds me of like, almost like the Tor network or something, like, or Monero, like there are like privacy, decentralized things that people build and do, but no one gives a shit, basically. Like, so you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, is basically the point, right? Yeah. So we can complain about pump fund as much as we want, but it's not like, I mean, unless Epstein survived and he's the one pumping this or some shit, you know what I mean? Like some evil cabal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's everyone else, everyone is to blame, basically, right? This is what we like. This is what we want. This is what we put money into.
Yeah, I just think that it was bound to happen, that if what you want crypto for is like the hard money and the anonymous nature and everything else, you can use it for that. But the casino was always inevitable. Always. It was always where it was going. For sure.
Now, next up, back to Sonic here. Intel Scout, thanks for doxing my wallet, bro. I guess. I'm kidding. It's not mine. I'm way longer than this. A whale's been 3x long, 2.3 million S since February, dude. Diamond handed through brutal drawdowns. Could you imagine, dude, being this powerful?
Yeah, I mean, that's to be long since, what did it say, February?
Yeah, since February.
That's definitely impressive, because obviously since February we've had a big drawdown, then we've marched back up, then we've had another drawdown. So yeah, the fact this guy's still long, that is some real dedication.
That means at least another big money guy has got his, I think he's definitely down hard, isn't he? Like from February?
Yeah, let's take a look real fast at February. I mean, I'm curious what if we go that far back. All right, so actually if he went, all right, well, there's two scenarios. In February, we had that first drawdown I spoke about, which would have put him longing it at like literally these same levels. But by the end of February, we shot up to almost $1. So yeah, he could either be insanely underwater, or he could be just like, doing okay right now.
Me, I'm doing horrible. Please, guys, send this token up, please. Now, okay, so we'll go back to Bernard Schultz, because I feel bad for how he left. He's a great guy. I actually met him. He's very nice, very, very friendly, very intelligent guy. I just don't really like. Why are we trotting him out here like this?
I don't know. I feel like they must have just been like, you're getting on X whether you like it or not.
Yeah, they bullied this poor man into getting on X. He doesn't want to shitpost with us.
He was just trying to enjoy his life, make some algorithms,
Yeah, he's just in here creating performance logic languages, being a professor. I wonder how they talked him into doing this, out of working on Sonic,
Yeah, I mean, they brought him in. This was very early days, I think it was, obviously the chain was still Phantom, I think, when they brought him in. But it's the stuff he'll, usually talk about is pretty much over all of our heads. I know at Vienna, he dropped a lot of this alpha that, a lot of the stuff that's like kind of like just now happening was, he's talked about in Vienna. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to have like your own like mad scientist on the team. The guy's giga-brained. So yeah, I agree though. It's like, did he want to come on X, or were they just like get on there?
It might just be my own feed. It's just I just don't often see other like researchers from other networks talking about this stuff, but it could be a good play because if you are interested in the tech,
yeah,
okay,
this is obviously the guy to follow.
This is a guy to follow because, for example, look, he's explaining their optimization process for Sonic VPN. Sonic.
I think like a guy like Mace Papa would really enjoy this.
Mace Papa is probably freaking licking his lips, dude.
He's just going through the threads every day that this guy puts out.
Oh yeah. Now, last one here I want to talk about. This person just followed me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He's also followed by Agent Chud, so maybe there's something. He's got some powerful follows.
IU.
But it's interesting because going through his name SS Snuffleupagus. I don't know how I feel about that, but he's got some interesting takes here. He might reappear on the stream at some point if he's got some crazy takes. But this one, Happy Crypto Week. Oh man, we're like way over, but the House will soon vote on a tremendous bill to make America the undisputed #1 leader in digital assets. Wait, so this came out today. This came out in the middle of our show.
Okay.
Nobody does it better. The Genius Act is going to put our great... Are you fucking kidding me, dude? The Genius Act? The
Great.
Genius Act? Look, you guys work in crypto. You guys that are in crypto. You've talked to... Oh, are we geniuses, dude?
The Genius Act. That's great.
So he's going to put our great nation light years ahead of China, Europe, and the others who are trying to endlessly to catch up, but they just can't do it. Digital assets to the future, and we are leading by a lot. Get the first vote done this after. He says we're leading by a lot, but I can't even participate in the Pump Fund ICO.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I could. Every day I log on to Hyperliquid, I'm logging on as a criminal. I don't know if you guys know that. But this is our moment. Digital assets, genius, clarity. It is all part of making America great again, bigger and better than ever before. Okay, so there's a crypto bill passing. So I'm going to take a look at this. Okay, and by take a look at it, I mean ChatGPT is going to take a look at it.
We're gonna send Corval up to Washington and get this straightened out.
Boy, you sent me to Washington, I ain't coming back, bro. I got lots of scores to settle up there in DC.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, it's like obviously still a positive for the industry as a whole that we have an administration that's, at least interested in, digital assets compared to the former administration, which was more of like, we just have this guy that's going to like pull you out of line at random and, shoot you in the head. That's basically what it was with Gensler. It was just kind of like, everybody line up and I'm going to choose which person I'm going to, shoot in the gut or whatever. So I guess we'll see what happens. It could be positive for us. Just this administration coming in, you've seen a lot of people, having headquarters in the U.S. again, like things that, during the bear market, during the former administration, you had the opposite. You had people taking their operations out of the country if they were based here. You had people taking their money out of the country. So I guess we'll see what happens. Like all bills, I'm sure that there's all kinds of stuff packed into it. And, who knows if it passes or whatever. But
don't worry. I'll tell you guys exactly what to think about this bill shortly here. Okay.
If Trump really wants to, pump crypto, he needs to do buyback and burns of USD.
I was going to say he needs to do buybacks and burns of Trump, but I don't know if they got enough money in the treasury for that. Yeah. Well, guys, that's pretty much everything today. I think we covered a lot here.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, for sure.
It was a good episode. So what I want you guys to do is remember to please sign up for the newsletter, join our Telegram. We're getting more people every day in the Telegram, and I love to see it grow. I love talking to people in there. It's a nice, fun way to interact and kind of just talk about, the same shit we talk about on the show, but just like with you guys more directly. So please join the TG, and I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something. I feel like Drac dropped some real knowledge in this episode, dude. We got to do this more, bro.
Yeah, I'm on it, man. Like I said, when my positions are in the red, I guess I can just I have a little more. I have more adrenaline, more.
Yeah, dude. You got to hustle for rent. You know what I mean? I'm playing.
I'm about to go hit the Uno table.
Hell yeah! All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you Friday. We have another show on Friday, and real quick, let me just tease who it's with. Victor. So be here. No, it's gonna be another DeFi protocol. So be here, guys. It'll be good. Until then,
we'll catch you Friday.
GMSONIC is Corval and Dracula Presley. GM.